guess I really don't know what Christmas is all about.
Hi friends, it's Shea and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I will be giving you guys 100 series recommendations handpicked by me for you. So yeah, it's going to be a long video. I'm not really sure because I'm not sure if I'm gonna go in depth with each and every one of the series. I didn't plan anything, I just listed down all of the series and I'm just gonna say whatever. This is not going to be an in-depth synopsis of each of the shows, so if you're looking for that, this is not the video for you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna flash a poster here, or if I get through copyright, I'm just gonna add a clip of the video here. So let's start with sitcoms, which is most of the shows that I like to watch nowadays because they're lighthearted and I like watching shows that I can repeat episodes of without having to watch the entire series. So I have 18 sitcoms to recommend to you guys. So first is IT Crowd. IT Crowd is one of the funniest shows that I've ever watched, and I don't know why it was cancelled, but it only ran for like 4 seasons. It's on Netflix, and yeah, just trust my recommendation, you guys. I love this show so much. It's the kind of show that you would watch one episode 10 times in a row and still love it, so that's how good it is. Next we have Will and Grace. I haven't really watched all of the episodes. I've only watched until season 2, but my sister has finished all of the episodes and I think it's still running until now. The other shows that I'm gonna recommend to you guys, I think you already know. Third is Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is a story about detectives of the 99th precinct of NYPD, and they focus more on the characters themselves rather than solving crimes, so I considered it a sitcom. Number 4 is The Big Bang Theory. The Big Bang Theory is about 2 guys named Sheldon and Leonard who live together, and their neighbor Penny, and also their friends Raj and Guchapali, and it's just about their life as scientists. Penny, their neighbor, teaches them to be more human because they lack social interaction because they are dubbed nerds. Number 5 is How I Met Your Mother. It's about a guy named Ted Mosby, and basically it's a story about him and his friends and his journey through finding the love of his life, which will become the mother of his children. So basically he's telling a story to his child about how he met their mother. This one is one of the shows that I grew up with. I also grew up with The Big Bang Theory. Number 6 is Friends, of course. Friends is one of the biggest shows in the world. It's about 6 people, 3 guys and 3 girls, and it's just about their daily lives. They are 30 something, 20 at the beginning, and then they grow into their 30s. A lot of you know about Friends, but I don't know if you know about number 7, which is Joey. Joey is one of the characters of Friends, and after the show ended, they made a show about Joey alone, wherein he becomes an actor and so on, but that show got cancelled because it's not really that good. I feel like they should have ended with Friends, but if you still want to support like the Friends franchise, then you can watch Joey. Number 8 is a show that I also grew up with, which is Glee. Glee is about a high school club called the New Directions, and they sing. They're in the Glee club, as I said, and it's about their lives, each of their personal lives, and they also sing a lot. So okay, number 9 is sadly not on Netflix anymore, but it's That 70s Show. That 70s Show is about a group of kids. There are 2 girls and then 4 guys, and it's about their lives in the 70s. And actually this wasn't filmed in the 70s. I think it started in the 1990s and it ended around the early 2000s. Number 10 is Modern Family, and this is a show that's great for all generations. I also grew up with this show. It's about 3 families. They're all connected. The first family is the Pritchett's, which consists of Jay and his second wife named Gloria and Gloria's son named Manny. Then from his first wife, Jay has 2 kids, Claire and Mitchell. So Claire has a family of her own, which is the second family. She has a husband and then 3 kids, and then Mitchell has a family of his own, so that's the third family, and he has a husband and an adopted daughter from Vietnam. This show is a really wholesome, lighthearted show. Number 11 and number 12 are kind of similar, we have Parks and Recreation and The Office. So I haven't really watched a lot of the seasons of those two, but my sister and my brother have finished both. The Office is about a group of people in an office, and it just shows their day-to-day life. It's one of those random shows that you don't really understand the humor of until you start watching more and more episodes. Number 13 is The Detour. Now, this I've only watched a couple episodes of, but I watch this whenever my brother watches it because my brother is the one who watches it, and it's a really funny show. It's Number 14 is Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Now this is a show starring Will Smith, and it's him going to Bel-Air, which is a prestigious place where his aunt and uncle live. So she sent him to his aunt and uncle to straighten him up, and then he just, he starts running the house, and it's a really great show. The only con about it is that there is a feud between cast members in real life, so I think that's the only con about the show. Otherwise, I really like it. Number 15 is New Girl. Now this show is one of the best shows. It's a story about a girl who starts living with 3 guys, and they live in one apartment together, and it's about their lives. It's about their dating lives, their personal lives, what happens throughout the show. And if you're going to watch at least one show from my list, then definitely watch New Girl because it deserves more attention. It's very underrated. Number 16 is Mom. Now Mom is a show about a girl named Christy who has 2 children, and she's trying to change and break the cycle of being a bad mom because her mom used to be a drug addict and an alcoholic, and then her mom's mom was also the same. Now she goes to AA meetings and she tries to sober up, she tries to get her life back together, she works as a waitress, and it's a very great show. Number 17 is sadly cancelled, but I still recommend that you guys try to watch it. It's called The Neighbors, and it's about a group of aliens who land on Earth, and they buy like a whole neighborhood. And then this family, which is the star of the show, this family moves into that neighborhood, so they're the only human in the neighborhood, but they don't really know that their neighbors are going to be aliens until finally it's too late because they've already moved in. And the show is really great. I don't know why it was cancelled. I think it only ran for 1 or 2 seasons, but still I do recommend you watch it because it's very funny. Number 18 and the last one for sitcoms is Psych. I'm not really sure if I can consider this a sitcom, but it is funny, and I grew up with this show, but I don't really remember what happens. I just know that I really liked it, and I remember the theme song until now, so I must have really liked it. Moving on to the next segment, I have reality shows, and I only have 4 reality shows on here because I'm not really a fan of them. But first is Shark Tank. If you like business stuff and watching businesses, their ideas, how they make it, investments, and so on, I really do recommend Shark Tank. It's about 4 billionaires. In real life, they're actual billionaires because this is a reality show. And basically, people try to pitch their businesses to these billionaires in hopes that they will get an investment. Number 2 is Sugar Rush. If you like baking and MasterChef, then you love Sugar Rush. 4 teams compete for the grand prize, whether it's 15,000 or 10,000, and the first round is cupcake round, I feel like, and then after that 1 team is going to be eliminated, and then the second round is going to be confectioner, and then 1 team again eliminated, and the last round is cake. So I like it because it's very fast. Every episode there's a winner, unlike MasterChef wherein at the end there's only 1 MasterChef. This is a very fast-paced show. That's what I like about it. Also, I really love baking, even though I burn a lot of stuff. 3 is Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I've only watched like 4 episodes and I'm not really that hooked, but at the same time it's a really fun show to watch, and I gave it a shot and I really ended up liking it, even though I'm not really into reality shows, but I can give that an exception. Number 4 and the last 4 reality shows is Instant Hotel. This is a show about different groups competing to see whose hotel is the best. It's not really a hotel, it's more of an Airbnb kind of type. So each group has 2 people and they take turns showing their hotels, and their competitors at the end will rate their hotel. So every episode they go to a different hotel of each of the group. So for our 3rd category, this is the Nickelodeon/Disney category. So I have a lot of recommendations for you guys, but I only put 7 here. So of course I'm gonna recommend shows like Big Time Rush, True Jackson, VP, Lizzie McGuire, Hannah Montana, That's So Raven, and so on. But I only put 7 here because these are the shows that are really close to my heart because I watched them when I was a kid. So number 1 is iCarly. iCarly is a show about a girl who is named Carly and her 2 best friends, Sam and Freddie, and they create a web show together, so she becomes famous as well as Sam and Freddie, and it's just about her life. Not really about her being famous, it's more about her web show. Number 2 is Victorious, and Victorious is about a group of teenagers who study in an art school, a performing arts school. So number 3, Sam and Cat, is an integration of both iCarly and Victorious. So Sam from iCarly and Cat Valentine from Victorious both came together, and that was how the show was formed, and it's about their lives as babysitters and at the same time as roommates. Number 4 is Wizards of Waverly Place. Now this one is a Disney show and it stars Selena Gomez, and it's a really funny show. It's about them being wizards. Her whole family except her mother are wizards, and it's about her life learning how to be a wizard as well as learning how to be secretive about it. Number 5 is Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh is about 2 stepbrothers. This one is one of the best shows that Nickelodeon has ever put out, I feel like. Number 6 is Sweet Life of Zack and Cody. This one is from Disney and it stars Cole Sprouse and Dylan Sprouse, and it's about their life living in a hotel called the Tipton Hotel, and their mom works there as a singer, so they get to live in the hotel for free. And the next series is Sweet Life on Deck, which also still stars Zack and Cody, but this time they lived in a boat. So they're taking school living in a ship, a cruise ship, and it's also owned by the same person who owns the hotel. So there are 2 shows from the Sweet Life series, and it gets funnier over time. Number 7 and last recommendation from the Nick/Disney category is Sonny with a Chance. So Sonny with a Chance stars Demi Lovato, who is Sonny, and it shows her life as a teen actress as well as a student because she still has to do school. Yeah, that's it for Nick and Disney. Let's move on to cartoons. Now, I've watched a lot of cartoons when I was growing up, but most of the cartoons I watched weren't from Cartoon Network, Disney, or Nickelodeon. I did watch a lot of those shows, but these ones are the ones that I really stuck through. So I have over 24 shows to give to you guys. Number 1 is a show that I literally grew up with. I think I started watching this when I was a baby. I don't know why I said it like that. And to this day, I feel like it's still one of the best cartoons out there. Number 2 is Disenchantment. Now this one is a show also created by Matt Groening, who created The Simpsons, so it's more or less the same animation, but this one is a show that they made for Netflix, so it is on Netflix. And the only problem is that they're so slow with season 3, honestly. Number 3 is also a show created by Matt Groening. So this is the last show created by him, and it's called Futurama. It's about a guy named Fry, and during work, while he was on his way to deliver a pizza, he accidentally gets frozen in this thing. But in that show, it's a machine that people use in order to freeze themselves so they can live long enough to go to the future, and he accidentally freezes himself for I think 3,000 years. Then 3,000 years later, he gets unfreezed, still the same, still a teenager, but everything that he knows about the earth is now gone because it's 3,000 years later, and basically he's in the future. Number 4 is Bob's Burgers. This is about a family of 5. There is a father, a mother, and their 3 children, and they own a restaurant called Bob's Burgers, and they sell burgers. And this is the same as The Simpsons. They just go throughout their day-to-day lives, so I can't really explain much of it. Number 5 is one of the best shows Cartoon Network has ever put out, and it's Adventure Time. Make sure you watch from episode 1 up until the end, because if you don't watch Adventure Time from episode 1, you can't really understand what happens. It's about a boy named Finn and his talking dog named Jake, who is his brother, and there are different kingdoms. Like there's a candy kingdom, there's an ice kingdom, a slime kingdom, a fire kingdom, and I can't really explain it unless you watch the show. Number 6 is Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty is a show about the guy named Rick and his grandson named Morty, and Rick is the smartest man in the universe, multiverse, whatever, and his grandson Morty just tags along with him throughout his adventures, so it's a really fun show. Number 7, number 8, and number 9 were all produced by the same guy. His name is Seth MacFarlane, which is why the animation is pretty much the same. So we have Family Guy, American Dad, and Cleveland Show. First of all, Family Guy. Their humor is somewhat offensive, so if you have a light heart, then I don't think you should watch this show. Next is American Dad. It's about a guy whose name is Stan, and he works in the CIA. He has a wife named Francine. He has 2 children named Steve and Haley, and then he has a talking fish named Klaus because, you know, CIA stuff, so they put the man's brain into the fish and now the fish talks. And then they also have an alien named Roger who is hidden in their attic, and he likes to dress in different characters of all genders so that when they go out, people don't notice that he's an alien, even though he clearly looks like one, but it's a cartoon. And the last one for the Seth MacFarlane series is the Cleveland Show. So Cleveland is a spin-off of Family Guy, which was cancelled. Cleveland Brown is one of the friends of Peter Griffin from Family Guy, and he moves away, so he creates his own new show where he has new friends, new family, and so on. At the end, it was cancelled, and Cleveland ended up moving back to Family Guy, so he's still a character there. Last 2 for cartoons, we have number 10, Carmen Sandiego. Carmen Sandiego, I've watched only 3 episodes of, but it's a show starring one of my favorite teen actors, Finn Wolfhard, which is why I decided to check out the show, and it's really good. Finally, we're at the last 4 cartoons. Oh shit. Okay, apparently there are 14 more for cartoons. I'm sorry, I thought that was the last one, but I ended up... Number 11 is called The Loud House. It's about a kid who has 10 sisters, and it's about their day-to-day lives, him being the only boy in their family and having 10 sisters. It's a really interesting and funny show. Number 12 is Fairly Odd Parents. It's about a kid named Timmy Turner who has 2 fairies or godparents or odd parents. Their names are Wanda and Cosmo, and they're married and soon they're gonna have a child, but they basically grant each and every one of his wishes, and every episode he asks for a wish and then it goes terribly wrong, and then after that they go back to normal. So that's the plot. Number 13 is another one of those shows that have really offensive humor, but this is much more offensive than Family Guy. It's called South Park. I personally like the show, but sometimes they really cross the line. This is a show that is about 4 kids and they swear a lot, and it's just a crazy show. You can watch it on Netflix, but mind you, it's not for kids. It's definitely not for kids. Don't watch it if you're still under the age of... I'm not gonna give an age because it's just... I don't know. Okay, number 14, moving on from a really offensive show, we have a show called Phineas and Ferb. So Phineas and Ferb is about 2 kids named Phineas and Ferb. They are stepbrothers, and they basically make crazy inventions, and every episode they make an invention, and it defies all other shows because most cartoons have conflict in their shows. Like every episode there's going to be a conflict, but in Phineas and Ferb it's just a fun. You know at the end of the day that they'll never get busted and so on, but it's still a fun show. Plus the music in Phineas and Ferb, really great. Number 15 is Milo Murphy's Law, and I can't really explain much about it because I've only watched like 3 episodes, but if you like Phineas and Ferb, want to support the franchise, that's a really great show. Try it out. Yeah. Number 16 was recommended to me by one of my friends, and it's called Happy Tree Friends. It's about a bunch of cuddly characters who get into a lot of trouble. That's all I have to say. Please search up Happy Tree Friends and watch it. Please. Number 17 is Bless the Hearts. It's about a woman who has a teenage daughter, and also she lives with her mom, and it's just again about their day-to-day lives. I know cartoons are pretty much the same, but the humor in all of these cartoons are really different, so if you want to choose just one, you could just take your pick with the animation and just go with it. Number 18 is King of the Hill. Again, it's about a family, a guy named Hank Hill, his wife, and then his child named Bobby, his niece, and then his neighbors. Number 19 is Daria. This actually is a show that I've only watched like maybe 2 episodes of, but a lot of you seem to like the show, so I decided to recommend this. Number 20 is Hoops. I've only watched 2 episodes of this because it's fairly new, but I just wanted to add this in because it stars 2 of the cast members from New Girl, which is Max Greenfield and Jake Johnson. So if you want to support those people from New Girl, you can check out Hoops on Netflix. Number 21 is the only anime that I watch. I'm still watching it along with a lot of shows, so I really don't have time to watch a lot of anime, but this one is Hayate the Combat Battler. It's about a guy who is in his teenage years and he is very poor. His parents left him with a huge debt, and he has to pay for it. Then he meets this really rich child, and then he saves her from being kidnapped, because of course a lot of people want to kidnap a child of the Sansonin family because she's really rich, and so she becomes his butler, and it's just about their life together at the big mansion. Number 22 is The Peanuts. The Peanuts is about a bunch of kids. It used to be a comic and then they made a series out of it. Number 23 is Archer. It's about people who work for ISIS. Not the ISIS that you're thinking of. They just named this ISIS for fun, but they're basically secret agents and they go through missions, and it's a really funny show. And the last one for cartoons, of course, is BoJack Horseman. The animation of this is gonna be weird at first because it's a mix of humans and talking animals, but you just learn to go with it. Okay guys, so we are down to our last two categories. Finally, actually there are three categories, but the last category is not really like a category. I'll explain later. Okay, so our fifth category is the Netflixy show, but basically this is the kind of show that you would watch on Netflix, or that you would find on Netflix, or the kind of shows that Netflix makes. The first show is a show called Gilmore Girls. Gilmore Girls is about a girl named Lorelai and her child named Rory. Lorelai is 32 years old, Rory is 16. If you do the math, she got pregnant at 16, and she used to live in Hartford, which is known for being a rich place. So basically she came from a rich family and she decided to leave her family to raise her child in a place called Stars Hollow. Then her child Rory got accepted into a prep school called Chilton, which coincidentally is at Hartford. So Lorelai had to reconnect with her parents in order to pay for Rory's tuition. Number 2 is Living with Yourself. Living with Yourself stars Paul Rudd, and he goes to this weird place because he's very stressed and he decides to kind of take the toxins out of his body. Little did he know that this place actually takes out like the bad toxins in your body, the negativity and so on, by duplicating you and creating another guy that is much more relaxed. And usually this random massage place, they dispose of the old body, and so they kill it essentially. But then they hit a little snag when they realized that the body that was supposedly dead was alive. So now there's two of them. There's two Paul Rudds, and it's a crazy story of them living with himself. Number 3 is I'm Not Okay With This. I'm Not Okay With This is about a girl who has powers, much like Eleven from Stranger Things. This is created by the same people who created Stranger Things. That's all I have to say about it because I might spoil you guys, but if you like Stranger Things, you're gonna love this. Number 4 is Prank Encounters. Now, some of the episodes of this show I don't really like, but some episodes are really funny. Number 5 is Stranger Things. Stranger Things is about 4 kids named Mike, Lucas, Dustin, and Will. And Will goes missing, so they try to find him, and little did they know that the government has opened a secret portal to the Upside Down where Will is stuck. So yeah, and also they meet this girl named Eleven who has powers, who can do things with her mind, and yeah, that's basically Stranger Things. Number 6 is BBC's Sherlock. Not any other Sherlock, BBC's Sherlock. This one is the best Sherlock out there because it stars Benedict Cumberbatch. I feel like Benedict did the best Sherlock. I feel like he did it better than Robert Downey Jr. I've watched his movies, his Sherlock movies, and it's really good, but at the same time, Benedict just brings Sherlock to a whole new level. Number 7 is a show called You. You follows a guy named Joe. I feel like his name is Joe. I don't really remember because he changes his name a lot, like twice. And he is basically super duper in love with this girl in the first season that he stalks her. So it follows a guy who's a stalker, and because of his love for this girl, his obsession for this girl, he stalks her so much that he does a lot of bad things to try to put destiny in his own hands. Number 8, American Horror Story. Some seasons are not so good, other seasons are really good. Like for example, season number 1, Murder House, really good. Every season there's a different story, but like for example, season 1, Murder House is about people who move into a home and and the home turns out to be haunted. I think season 2 is Asylum, and that follows people inside an asylum. And then there's also one called Freak Show, another one called Coven, which is one of my favorites. Number 9 is End of the Effing World. It's about a guy named James who thinks he's a psychopath. So he wants to kill this girl named Alyssa, who is just done with her life. So Alyssa asks James if he wants to run away with her, and he says yes because he wants to kill her. So they just go throughout their journey, but they hit a little snag when they accidentally kill a guy, and now they're criminals. So yeah. Number 10 is The Good Doctor, which is about a guy named Sean Murphy, and he has autism, and he's a really great surgeon, and it's just about doctor stuff and his personal life. Number 11 is Gossip Girl. Gossip Girl is a show about a group of preppy teenagers, and it just shows their lives, you know, the drama that goes behind prep schools and so on. Number 12 is Umbrella Academy. I actually watched this during the first season because the comic was made by Gerard Way, who is the lead singer in My Chemical Romance. It's about a group of people who have powers and they try to save the world from the end of the world. Number 3 is Grey's Anatomy. Grey's Anatomy is again about doctor stuff. My battery is about to die. Number 4 is Emily in Paris, and Emily in Paris is about a girl named Emily who moves to Paris to become a marketing agent of Savoir. It's a really great show if you love France and everything. So the next couple of series that I'm going to be showing you guys, the crime series, your recommendations, and so on, I'm just gonna flash it into the screen, not only because my camera is about to die, this is the battery thing, but also because I won't go in depth with this anyways. So here you are, just gonna flash this here, not even gonna do a voiceover. But yeah, if you like crime solving stuff, then check these out. I have a lot because all of these are shows that I used to watch as I was growing up, because my dad and I were really into crime solving stuff. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I know it's very long, but if you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe down below, follow all my socials, they'll be in the description down below, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye guys!